1559 says, is it better to reduce time on classic lifts to build squat strength, still hitting them once per week, each week? Oh, is the answer to this, but sometimes the answer is yes. So what do I mean by this? Well, the first thing is, when you're focusing on weightlifting, the most important thing is weightlifting. Sure, there's a point where you're just simply too weak to lift the weights you need to lift. You mentioned here that you're doing 100, 120 and you have a 160 back squat. There comes a point where your back squat is simply not strong enough and you will, or you might have to take some time away or lessen the focus on the main lifts and spend a bit more of that recovery capital on strength training. For most people, in most phases of training, in most years of their career, they will be better served doing more focused weightlifting work than they will be doing strength work or doing accessory work or doing hypertrophy work. What does this look like? Well, it looks like over the course of a year, you will probably spend somewhere between 8 months and 10 months in weightlifting specific programming. That doesn't mean you're not doing any accessory work. That certainly doesn't mean you're not doing any back squats. But what it does mean is a lot of your normal training time and training volume is going into snatch and clean and jerk. That is snatching 2 or 3 times per week, clean and jerking probably twice per week, and then back squatting and or front squatting somewhere 2 to 3 times per week. This is standard training programming. This is what standard weightlifting concurrent training will be. For those other 2 months or 4 months of the year, you will be in an off-season period of training. That off-season period might have snatch and clean and jerk once per week. Then in the other sessions or the other days of the week you're going to train, you're doing a lot of strength work, a lot of hypertrophy work. You're looking to increase your back squat probably by around 15 to 25% of 1 rep max. You're really looking to bring those 1RM numbers up in the weight room. And then you try to maintain about 90% of those 1RM numbers during your weightlifting specific periods. For most of us, this is going to look like running 1 or 2 weightlifting blocks back to back. You're going to still hit PBs in your back squat, still hit PBs in your front squat, still massively bring up your snatch and clean and jerk during these periods. The off season is to give your joints and your body a bit of a break generally, give your brain a small bit of a break from the neurotic nature of weightlifting and having to snatch and clean and jerk all the time, and also give you a chance to maybe put on an extra couple of kilos, maybe lean out a little bit if you need to lean out, and also obviously bring the squat numbers up. But I certainly wouldn't say at 100, 120 and a 160 back squat that you're kind of massively in a deficit there. At 120, what we're really looking for is a front squat value around 135 or 140, and you can definitely hit that at the moment with a 160 back squat. Would it be nicer if that was 180 to 200 kilos? Absolutely it would. Would it make getting from 100 to 110 on the snatch easier? Absolutely it would. But you can certainly do that while also doing your weightlifting training as well. One of the biggest problems in this area is that people go away from weightlifting for too long. They'll also start altering their positions to artificially bring up the 1 rep max number in the back squat. What do I mean by this? Well, they'll slowly drift away from that ass to grass, super vertical torso, nice extended upper back. And slowly they'll bring in bigger knee sleeves, bigger belts, wider stance, more forward torso lean, less depth in the squat. They get a shittier squat because it brings up their 1RM number just by an extra few kilos. Then they go back into weightlifting and it doesn't have the transference that it should have. And they would have been better off sticking to standard weightlifting blocks for longer periods.